Good morning, guys, and I guess this means that 2022 harvest is officially underway. Alrighty guys, welcome back to the channel. Yesterday managed to get out, have another crack here at this barley behind the house. Straw's still a touch on the green side, but it's going to be 36 degrees today. That'll be the warmest day we would have had since, I don't know, last summer maybe. So yeah, it's going to help dry things down really well. And when I say the straw's a little bit green, this is sort of what we're dealing with. It's not chopping it up into a really fine residue and spreading it all that well, but I was managing to get through it okay yesterday. So all I sort of did yesterday, I just came out and just made a bit of a start. I just harvested enough for a truckload. I didn't get too carried away. You know, we're in absolutely no rush because I don't think we got a lot to go on with once we're done in this paddock. We're still waiting on a bit of other stuff to dry down, but I just wanted to get in here, get the machine shined up, get it dialed in, get everything moving, and just make some sort of a start. So I didn't bring the camera with me because, well, number one, I didn't know whether it was going to go. I thought I might come back out here, do a run down the paddock, and it's just too green still. But it went, and I'm just exhausted. I'm absolutely exhausted. I hate to be this guy at the moment, but it's just been a marathon. I left the camera at home. So this morning, first thing, I just brought the blower out with me. I'm just gonna give this machine a quick blow down, and I just want to check over everything that we did on the pre-season. Just make sure everything looks good. It's very important. Get it cleaned down, get a really good look at everything. Just make sure everything looks okay and that, you know, we're not going to have any dramas basically. So we'll do that, we'll get that out of the way, get the machine checked over, then I know that's sort of tickety-boo and it's good to go when we want to get back out into it today. Alright, let's get dusty. Just let Mother Nature and the breeze do a little bit of the work there and blow any more of that loose chaff away. Just going to shift this bin down here. No chaser bin yet at the moment. There's no point. Dad's got that much sheep work on the go. He's just not really got any time. Like I said, we've only really got this one paddock here at the moment. And our main tractor is over. I don't know if I've even talked about this yet, but the 8310T is over at the dealership, and that needs another hydraulic pump, which hopefully should be here any day. So I'm really hoping that we're going to have that back this week sometime, which will be really good because, yeah, we should be ripping into it pretty hard pretty soon, I think. Looking good up here. So far so good. Hopefully it stays that way. It's amazing for how green the straw is, how powdery this stuff is. Unreal. Did put some new discharge beater bearings in, so I just want to make sure everything's still sitting pretty. Alright, everything's good in here. Now there is not a lot to look at over this side. Dealer did those swing arms, so I just have a quick look at those and just cast an eye over it all. Make sure nothing looks out of place. I think we're looking good. I think we are looking golden. We're pretty well all sorted there. I'm just going to get the other auger out of the shed over the road and drag that out into the paddock. So we've got two augers out here, make it a little bit easier. But I just actually looked at the weather forecast properly, and I reckon today might be a total fireban day today because of the wind. It's not overly windy, but you're talking like 36, 37 degrees and 20 to 30 kilometre an hour wind. So I better have a bit better look at that, and we'll just see what's happening later on when it warms up a bit. And if you're not from Australia, basically we have a harvest code of practice where if it's too windy and too hot, you don't harvest, because if you start a fire and you burn down the entire town down the road down there, you'll probably go to prison for it. I'm just having a look on the Bureau's site here, Bureau of Meteorology, and it says just there the fire danger is extreme today. So that's probably going to mean no harvesting, unfortunately. That's a shame. I probably should have looked at that a little bit harder last night, but anyway, we're ready to go tomorrow, but it's not going to be very warm tomorrow. It's only going to be 24 degrees or something, I think. So anyway, we'll drag this auger out there and see what the future brings us. Have the rest of the day off, boy. Oh, thank you, sir. I will enjoy my Sunday. Well, everyone, we are back, and managed to have a fairly relaxing day yesterday. It was pretty nice. Bit of R&R, went into the pageant. I'm feeling a lot more refreshed than I was 2 or 3 days ago, I can tell you that. But it's not particularly warm today, but it's just gone after lunch, so we should be right to come out and have a crack at this barley again now. We'll throw some fuel in the auger and yeah, get into it. Okay guys, let's get after it. Already got our first truck down there taking out a load. So guys, as you can see, when I'm talking about the straw being a bit tough out here, you can see, or hopefully you can see on the camera, where every pass that I've done with the header, the straw is sort of windrowing a little bit behind the centre of the machine, and that just means it's just not, the stems just aren't that dry yet, and they're not smashing up that well in the chopper and then being distributed very well. But look, it's ripe and it's ready to go, so the grain, so we're just going to chew through this for a while and hope that sort of the rest of it, as we move through barley harvest, comes in a bit better and is a little bit more dry. So we just want to get this paddock off and get a good start, and yeah, the rest will come. The rest will come. So yeah, apart from my ground speed being down a little bit, I just can't quite keep up the pace that I'd probably like to, just because the machine's struggling with that green straw. But apart from that, the machine seems to be running pretty well. I'm not going to say anything because I'll just jinx myself. But it feels good to have a start, for sure. It's the 5th of December today already, so Christmas is coming around quick. The wheat is still green, you know. It's always nice to be done by Christmas time, but I don't think we stand a chance at all this year of being done by Christmas. So yeah, it is what it is. And the other thing is, like, we got no warm weather for the next week. That doesn't help. You know, you really want the temperatures to be like 30 plus, at least high 20s anyway. When you're getting 23s, 24s, it's just not warm. It just, especially when you got a bit of green straw, things don't separate well, it doesn't run through the machine well. You're battling uphill, and then you gotta hope like hell that you don't break something. I guess we'll hop down and see, well, we'll have another look around and just see what sort of a job the machine's doing. And it's just hard though at the moment, because there's been a bit of hail out here, there's been a little bit of wind damage, and it was the same in here last year. The wheat got damaged by the wind, and it's just, unless you got a drop pan, which I don't have, it's impossible to tell what sort of a job you're doing just about. So anyway, we'll have a look. There's one. There you go, that's one that's probably just fallen out in the wind, and that's the problem when you're looking around at the moment, trying to figure out what's from the wind and what's just come out the back of the machine. But I'm sure all this green straw isn't helping it out. Overall, it's not too bad. I don't mind finding the odd grain as long as you're not just finding a whole heap in one spot. But once again, it's very hard to tell how much is actually coming out the back of the machine. The stubble's still just kind of green to look at down the bottom here, and it's just tough. It's just tough. It's tough going. So I was a little bit worried with the grain. The first load that went out, the truck driver was saying that it was a little bit weighing a bit light. And looking at it, I thought, yeah, the grain looks a bit small. There's a lot of black tip. I don't know if the camera will pick that up. And I just thought the rain might have washed a fair bit out of the grain, with like a fair bit of weight, because that's just what it does. It just washes over the grain, it takes the weight out, takes the protein out. But the test weight is actually okay. And overall, I think the sample looks pretty good. The grain looks, yeah, it looks fine. So I'm fairly happy with it. Everything seems to be going pretty well at the moment. So you might be able to see out there's quite a bit of higher level cloud, maybe borderline almost showery sort of weather out there, but they are saying tomorrow there is a slight chance of rain, maybe just a couple of millimeters, but you don't need much at the moment and it'll stop you from going, so hopefully it stays away. There goes the film crew helping me out for the day, for the afternoon. Get all the footage. So I pulled up for a minute. I thought I'd come back and drag the old chassis bin out into the paddock so I got something to continue into. I could bring some field bins out, but I want to start taking some of this barley back to the grain shed and storing it. So I thought I'll get this bin out there, and we've got a bit of daylight left there yet, so try and keep pushing on. I'm starting to get a bit more serious now. Putting the old girl to work again. I know we still haven't refurbished it like we were sort of talking about last year, that, you know, we might do something like that. I don't really know if it's worth it, to be honest. It's so old, it needs so much money spent on it. You could buy like a nice new big field bin that would hold probably somewhere near the same amount of that anyway. So it just is what it is for now. Just keep, while she keeps plugging away, we'll keep plugging away with it. I was thinking that drone footage and the footage Stacey took from outside the machine, yeah, it's going to look like I'm absolutely crawling along, and to be honest, that is because I am. It is slow going, it's tough. Look, 5.1 kilometers an hour. So that's probably about what I'm averaging, I reckon, but like when you get to the part, like a part in the paddock where the crop's lodged, meaning that it's fallen over, it's still really green underneath, and she just groans and grunts, and then you're back again a bit further. So tough going, man. I probably should point out as well that it is a pretty big crop, so that is also making me go pretty slow, but it's probably not yielding as well as it could given the amount of rain that we've had. But I think, you know, everybody thinks crops are going to be bananas, they're going to be huge on these years where you have just too much rain, but I think they actually struggle a little bit, and they probably don't do as well as what you think they're going to. But I mean, for what we've thrown into this crop this year, it's a great crop, you know, with the way prices were, you know, fertiliser and chemicals and things like that. You know, we were conservative. We weren't crazy conservative, but you know, at the end of the day, you have an average that you're shooting for somewhere around there, and to get above that's really great. So I'm sort of hoping that, yeah, if the barley can average in around 5 tonne to the hectare, or maybe even a little bit more, I think we'll be doing really, really well. It's a great crop for us. Can't complain about that. If that's what you're going to get every year farming, you wouldn't complain. The old chassis bin, taking my first load for 2022 harvest. I should probably phrase that a different way next time. There's just nothing like the sound of that crop going through the machine. Everything's all shined up now. It's just sounding magical. Ah, the weird things that excite farmers. Very strange. Well, there we have it, folks. Everything's pretty well full, and I'm going to fall painfully short of finishing. There is about 3 hectares there, but anyway, it was a good day, considering it wasn't very warm, and yeah, we've managed to make some pretty decent progress. Well, there you have it, folks. 2022 harvest is underway, and it's a good feeling, a very good feeling. But that will be all for today. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Everybody take it easy. Have a good one, and we'll see you next time.